Alpha Fujoshi Green Tea Gal, and welcome back to Dudes Forging Lifelong Bonds with a little more than prolonged eye contact with channel. Today I'm going to give a quick and dirty rundown of the BL hopefuls airing next in every season, each handpicked morsel tailored specifically to your refined palate. Let's dig in. Even for BL, The Summer Hikaru Died is kind of a wild premise. This new quirky BL horror from Netflix stars two BFFs who find their friendship tested when one of them suddenly goes missing, only for him to return a week later as something that looks human, but definitely isn't. Hikaru 2.0 just wants to pick up where they left off, with the added caveat that romance is definitely still on the table. Yet the most BL-ish aspect of this is that despite the obvious danger, Yoshiki refuses to leave his otherworldly friend's side, even if it could get him and everyone in town killed. Like Buddy Daddies in 2023, I love when anime does this perfect world parallel, where the townsfolk don't approve of their relationship because Hikaru might be a schlorpy mountain demon that eats faces, and not because they're both male. Pride Month rendering is actually giving strong Shiki vibes too. You know that anime where vampires come back to feed on the person who loved them most, because they're the most likely to let them drink them dry? Making The Summer Hikaru Died yet another instance of BL and the occult being a match made in heaven. Now I'm bending over backwards to avoid any kind of spoilers, but even though this is a modern day shonen ai, there's at best a 50-50 chance things don't end in death and disaster. But I'll definitely be rooting for them on July 5th. Speaking of odd couples, Muchusa Kimi ni, or Captivated by You, is a breezy slice of life dramedy featuring its own pair of weirdos who decide being weird together is where it's at. Hayashi is just too unbothered not to live his life exactly as he pleases 24/7, and Nikaido uses his own face as normie repellent. But despite the gloom and the rumors, Hayashi is able to see the gold beneath the gossip. The live action of this actually won Best J-Drama 2021. There's even videos about their romance specifically. While the live action seems to split the focus between the boys' friendship and their attempts with women, the anime seems to center squarely on their romance with no women to be found in the voice actor section at all. Every version of the title has a slightly more than friends vibe, so if you're out farming for tender BL moments like me, Muchusa Kimi ni might make for a bountiful harvest. This is the kind of show that could hook you on vibes and spectacle alone. Between the demons, the sci-fi, the intrigue, and this dapper motherfucker with the stupidly broken powers, Lord of Mysteries is already tailor-made specifically for my gothic BL-loving ass. Zaddy of Mysteries finds himself reincarnated as Klein Moretti, and plunked to a steampunk-era London. He finds himself entangled with the endless f***ery of this world's version of the Catholic Church, while slowly developing his tarot card and potion-granted Beyonder powers. Lord of Mysteries is yet another anime so zesty it barely made it past China's homophobic censorship laws. According to the wiki, he has no romantic relationships, but the fandom seems to think otherwise. Hot off the heels of that movie I was really hoping to see by now, we're getting a whole new season of Cutie High Defense Club Haikara. But now with the twist of being set in the Taisho era, because why should Tanjiro have all the old-timey turn-of-the-century fun, am I right? But worry not, there's still a dudes-only zesty-ass cast, a cute talking mascot to warn them of danger, and colorful Sailor Moon transformations to help them save the day. There's even the usual trio of gay-coded villains for them to be sexually menaced by. While Cutie High is going strong with a movie OVA and 4 seasons under its belt, I've lost count of how many anime were overdue for any kind of progress. Luckily, Call of the Night is back this July to welcome weebs to Season 2 summer. This quirky vampire rom-com stood out in 2022 for having a quietly pansexual dude as his protagonist. Called me Tosca, his first they-them femboy, in episode 13. And then he goes,
I saw this penis on the internet today, and I thought to myself, well that's just fine.
Sure, the main ship will usually obey the rule of first trope, but A, this sure was a low-key harem, and B, Ko is completely unbothered by gender, meaning the femboy is very much on the menu. Actually, any guy a harem decides to add to the main cast always sticks out like a sore thumb, and this show has 2. There is a surprising amount of will they won't they tension between MC and Mahiru. You know, the blonde childhood bestie Ko finds so easy to talk to, always wants to spend more time with, wishes he could be more like, and literally thinks is perfect. Dandadan pinged my Fujo radar at the very end of season 1 with the introduction of chaotic cursed f***boy Gigi. The show portrays he and Okurun as romantic rivals at first, but not only do they rapidly become friends in spite of themselves, they match each other's manic energy, and they already have way better chemistry than the MC and Momo from the get-go. Season 2 will kick off with the curse that Gigi will eventually weaponize, making him the newest mainstay in the cast. It's not lost on me that when Okurun and Gigi transform, They continue that soccer match from earlier, but without clothes. The trailer even made GG 2.0 more cut, with more prominent nips compared to the teaser. I'm aware Dandadan has a reputation for being horny as so it shouldn't surprise me that the more we see or learn about GG, the more sexualized he becomes. But the powerful curse that haunts him is constantly giving me repressed sexual trauma in disguise vibes that I just can't shake. And now I'm wondering if I have to add him to my dudes introduced to sex way too early by other dudes club. Okay, how the f have I not watched this before? Despite my love of demons and 90s era snark, the original Hell Teacher Nube is one of those gems that just kinda slipped through the cracks for me. Well, I plan to rectify that this summer, as Studio Kai is rolling out a fresh, modern reboot of the franchise in July. While a terrified teacher at Ghoul School took the powerful professor trope in a bright slapstick direction, Hell Teacher Nube is like its edgier cousin, with a what if Blue Exorcist, Sword of the Demon Hunter, and Golden Boy had a baby vibe. My appreciation of occult anime aside, I'm getting those good old Fujo feelings from the clash between the cursed half-demon MC and Kyosuke, the needlessly pretty character who's both friend and foe and definitely haunting him. For some reason, every gay-coded villain in the 90s looked like some derivative of this guy and I can't unsee it. Grand Blue is finally back. You know that wild-ass show from 2018 with so much booze and joke BL that you barely even remember that it's about deep-sea diving? There's no way the MC's drunken nude adventures with his blonde bestie hasn't lived rent-free in your head at some point. So you don't really need me to remind you of how zesty the show was, or that a dude will just casually whip his out during regular business hours, or that their local bartender thinks they're dating, or that time they decorated the MC's room with yaoi and husbandos because they thought he was into it. Grand Blue goes incredibly hard in their BL shenanigans, so I'm recommending Season 2 with the highest enthusiasm, because I can already tell the show will not skimp on the foolishness that made it famous. Is there anything food can't fix? From no Ryori's MC Gaku was a math whiz that had very high hopes for the future, but one day his dreams hit a bit of a snag and his scholarship is revoked. And because this is a cooking anime, a brilliant chef blows into his life and teaches a depressed Gaku that the world didn't end, and slowly his love of math takes on a new and tasty form. Apparently the romance in this was so good, it also inspired a live-action adaptation. This is actually the third chef healing hearts with food anime this season alone. But From no Ryori is the only one where both leads are male. Okay, it's kinda hard for me to ignore an anime that needs to bring up the MC's disdain for women in the very first sentence. Like the MCs of Rising of the Shield Hero and I'm the Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, Busaman Gachi Fighter has an MC whose life is so fucked by a false accusation, and isekai is the only way to fix it. But even in a fantasy setting, luck is against him. Not only is Shigeru unable to touch women without pain, sex could actually kill him. He becomes so unconcerned with ever trying to date again, he's okay with being the only Ugo fighter in existence in exchange for power. You'd think at that point looks wouldn't matter for him, but I couldn't help but notice our #undateable MC is hyper aware of the hottie in his adventuring party. Anxious gangster karaoke is a string of words I never thought I'd utter. Karaoke-ko is a comedy about the most unserious Yakuza group ever having a karaoke contest. Loser has to get a particularly painful tattoo. So our MC Kyoji, either by luck or by stalking, stumbles onto a choir boy and gently persuades him to teach him karaoke. Despite the weird introduction, there'll be yet another example of oddball besties hopefully making each other's lives better coming next season. So Siyokte New Saga is finally dropping after I recommended it 2 goddamn years ago. I'm sure there's a myriad of reasons for the delay. The animation industry isn't particularly kind to anyone involved. So in case you forgot, the rest of the cast has already been killed and everything's on fire by the time the MC Kyle finally defeats the Demon Lord. But he gets a do-over after stumbling onto a relic that flings him 4 years back in time. This originally pinged my Fujo radar for potential blonde bestie MC subplot. It was actually this anime that opened my eyes to the bestie is bae poster trope. Sports anime have suddenly become a rarity this season. Luckily Hyakuemu, or 100 meters, is here to hold down the fort. Since I kinda never stopped thinking about Run with the Wind, I'm already looking forward to the seconds after finding out it exists. Running prodigy Togashi finds another talented athlete, Komiya, who's all raw potential but lacks technique. Romance blooms on the track as he decides to teach Komiya the ropes. Since this made my zesty list, the boys meet again as young adults and rivals on the field, intent to finally reveal the fruits of their training and their true selves this September. Despite the premise of man stuck in a rut gets his zest for life back when a chaotic waifu cartwheels into his life, detectives these days are crazy is already throwing off a generally zesty vibe. And the fact that this is a detective anime, officially the gayest anime subgenre in existence, means it's something no self-respecting Fujo should ignore. Bullet snuck in at the last minute with its silver-haired twink MC in the post-apocalypse. And last but never least, the second core of creepy cute toilet-bound Hanako-kun is back, and its 2 different BL ships are coming with it. And that is it for me. Which of these are you most looking forward to? Are there any BL-friendly anime I missed? Tell me and others about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to browse my BL Clips channel and the Facebook page for even more content in every single video YouTube wouldn't let me post. Bye for now.